For our PSA, we chose the topic of forensic psychology, which is the study of psychology and its intersection with the law. Forensic psychologists work in every level of the judicial system to facilitate the legal process, influence courtroom decisions, and help legal professionals find justice. They do this by lending their psychological knowledge in a court case as an expert witness. Expert witnesses give their professional opinions on the stand about a case or a defendant or anybody involved in a legal case, usually supporting either the defense or the prosecution. They can give insight about the mind of the defendant, the reasons behind their actions. They also complete psychological evaluations.
So for these next 2 slides, we're going to talk about the educational path that one must take in order to become a forensic psychologist. The first step is to earn a bachelor's degree in psychology. If the degree is not in psychology, it can be in criminal justice or criminology, and then you can minor or major in psychology, as long as there is some kind of psychological component to it. You must take classes that pertain to your majors, such as forensic psychology, abnormal psych, psychopathology, etc. After you graduate and earn your bachelor's degree, you will then take your GRE exam and hopefully enter a master's program. This should take about 2 years. And after completing the master's program, you can either stop there and begin to work, or you can further your education by getting either a PhD or a PsyD. That will typically take about 5 years, and during the 5th year of your doctoral program, you will be entered into a year-long internship. After completing that internship in your 5th year, you will graduate, and then you will then begin working in your desired field.
Now I'm going to tell you about careers that you can have in forensic psychology. The first career I'm going to tell you about requires a bachelor's degree in forensic psychology. It is a victim advocate. These people have an important job in the criminal justice process. They work closely with victims of crime, helping them through the criminal justice system while trying to limit the amount of trauma brought up. This next career requires a master's degree. This is a jury consultant. They work closely with legal teams in order to determine how to best seat the jury for the team's desired outcome. Also, how to proceed with a case when the jury has been chosen. Forensic psychologists can use their knowledge of criminal justice as well as human behavior to help select desirable jurors based on available information. This next career requires a PhD or a PsyD. This is a forensic psychologist. They can fill a number of roles, but they often work as consultants for law enforcement agencies. Those that work with the FBI may profile criminals, while for other agencies they may evaluate offenders or even work with officers themselves. Forensic psychologists can also work directly in a jail setting, counseling offenders for release, or as a way to help them cope with the stress of incarceration, as well as treating any underlying health issues.
When it comes to forensic psychology, there are many statistics that go behind it. For example, total degrees awarded in 2017 were 1,744. The average wage for people who work in this workforce is $67,241 each year, and it is growing by 1.81%. There is currently 2.64 million people working in this workforce. The average employee age for people who work in this field is 41 years old. How would you spend your time as a forensic psychologist? You would spend 78% of your time reviewing cases, evaluations, and writing complete paperwork, and 9% of your time psychological evaluations and consultations, 2% of your time reading laws and medical updates to stay current, 3.5% of your time testifying in court, 1% of your time researching and writing on your own field specialty, 5% of your time consulting with professional colleagues, and 1.5% of your time teaching and training other people that are trying to be a part of this forensic psychology field.
Benefits for forensic psychology. It assesses risks of violence. Forensic psychology can help courts make appropriate decisions on sentencing, granting privileges, and community reintegration. In a criminal case, forensic psychology is often used to determine if the accused was acting without knowledge that what they were doing was wrong. It also helps to determine competency of the accused in a court. Forensic psychology is not intended to put the blame on someone because of their mental state before, during, or after a crime has been committed. Instead, it is used to provide additional evidence to an already existing case in order to give the jury all of the information available before determining a verdict. Forensic psychology can help courts make appropriate decisions on sentencing. A dangerous individual's psyche, for example, can lead to more restrictive settings compared to someone who is at low risk for violence. Forensic psychology also allows people to have the opportunity to help others. It can be a challenging and rewarding career, and it also has a diverse career path. For example, working in the criminal courts, consulting government, and education.